cool. I don't always get right into the where your food comes from stuff because that can be a little intimidating. But I think for people that are ready to hear about those things, it's amazing to what they're doing. And it's so important once you realize the way that your food is grown, the earth that it's grown in, the environment that it's grown in, it all matters.
100%.
And, eating vegetables from any source is better than eating potato chips. But once you really that's like that next level of health and wellness is once you start to feel comfortable with just eating whole foods and you're kind of off that sugar addiction processed food track, you can then open your mind to things like regenerative agriculture and thinking about what about the health of the dirt your food is grown in and how much that really contributes to the health of your food. And when you're eating healthy food from healthy soil, you're a healthier person.
Right.
And it's just a really easy way to make yourself healthier overall without having to really do much. And Holly Hill Farm is such a great community resource. It's been in the community since, I believe, the 1800s. And it's been feeding the community ever since then. And that's, I think, just so special. That farm is still operating and still feeding the community. And I hope that it'll bring a lot of awareness to the farm.
Beautiful. Yeah, you touched on a lot of great things there. And one that I want to start with is you mentioned it's not always about aspiring to be, like somebody else. The way I look at it is, we just want to be the best versions of ourselves. Like, it doesn't really matter what other people are doing. It's like, how can I be better today? Like, what can I do better? It doesn't matter what these people on Instagram are doing. Doesn't matter. Do what's best for you. Like, if you can go for a 5-minute walk today, you don't usually go for a 5-minute walk. Cool. You don't have to go for a 2-hour walk. Start with 5 minutes. Start small. So I have 3 Oreos at 10 a.m. I have 2. It's not like you have to do this whole crazy life-changing experiments all at once because you're going to hate yourself. You're not going to have fun. And then you're going to say, oh, this doesn't work. This is terrible, yada, yada, yada. But if we start off and just add something new, drink one more glass of clean water.
Do more of what makes you happy, right?
Do more of what makes you happy. Play a little bit. Get outside, like simple things. Yeah. And then when we go into the deeper levels, like you said, with the food, one of the easiest ways to get healthier is to start going to farmers markets. Hands down. Cut out any of the processed food because you're not going to be getting processed food at farmers market. You're going to be getting local food. Most of the time, small local farms are organic food, so they're better for the environment, better for the soil, better for you as a human being, and you're supporting a small business owner.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things that is so overlooked, that I think when it comes down to food sourcing, is that every single aspect, I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but for the most part, every single aspect of buying from a farmer's market is better than buying at a grocery store.
Oh, 100%.
And
I think the only thing with farmer's market is that there's a lot of sugar at the farmer's market. And sugar is, I think we are all addicted to sugar. So everyone wants to keep pretending that sugar is okay and that sugar is a totally okay thing in your diet. But like, one of the things I like to point out is like, we all know that if you take like ashwagandha and you put a tablespoon into your smoothie every day, that it's going to affect your health in a positive way.
Right.
If you take a tablespoon of sugar and you put it into your coffee every morning, that is going to have a negative effect on your health, even if it's just 1 tablespoon. And it might not be a negative effect to the point that you're like sick because of it, but it's going to increase the inflammation in your body. And so that's the one thing I would say about farmers markets is that just because it's a croissant from the farmers market, it's probably not actually any better for you than another croissant, aside from the fact that you are supporting a local business who probably made it with love and all of that good stuff in there. But in terms of, is it actually going to be better for you because it's from a farmer's market? And I only say that because these are the types of things that I think a lot of people genuinely don't think about. They believe I'm at a farmer's market, it's an automatically healthier product.
Right.
But just because it's made with whole wheat flour or organic sugar, it's still inflammatory, which I don't think there's anything wrong with eating a croissant if that's what you want. But same thing with like the Oreos at 10 a.m. You don't have to stop eating Oreos at 10 a.m. I'm just asking you to think about how that makes you feel. Because I think if anyone actually thinks about how those choices make them feel, like physically, not like how you emotionally feel about that choice. Right. But when you really think about like, did eating Oreos at 10 a.m. have any benefit to my day? The answer will always be no, because Oreos will always make you feel gross at 10 a.m. because they're not a breakfast, not what your body wants. I mean, really at any point in time, in my opinion, but especially then, that's not what your body's looking for. And I think it's, it's as simple as that. Like, you don't have to stop doing those things, but just ask yourself why you're doing it and if you even like doing it. And it's really shocking when you start asking yourself that question about the things you fill your day with, how much you spend your time and your energy doing things you don't even want to do. And not like tasks that you have to do out of obligation or responsibility, like eating donuts in the morning. Like, that doesn't make anyone feel good. It gives you like warm, fuzzy, like nostalgia feelings, I think. But like, no one has ever eaten a donut and been like, I feel great right now. Like, physically, my stomach feels amazing. It's just.
Yeah. And a lot of it is the subtle feedback. Like, if you're chronically congested, you get acne, you have fatigue, brain fog, you have some aching joints or something that just is nagging. You don't really know why it's there. You never really heard it, but it's just achy.
Yep.
So much of that is from the toxins of sugar and all these other, poisons we're basically putting into our body that at the time we may not even notice, because like you said, we're so caught up in the nostalgia. We're so caught up in the taste of this food. And then 2 hours later, we start to get tired or you have brain fog or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, why am I feeling this way? And most of us don't make that connection that, oh, maybe it was that donut I ate 2 hours ago. But for a lot of people, 2 hour window is like, oh, that was too long ago. There's no way that's affecting me now. Yeah. But depending on your digestive system, it may take 45 minutes. It may take 2-3 hours, depending on the speed of your metabolism and many other factors. But I think that, like you said, something I like to just share with people is just start being a little bit more mindful of how you feel when you do certain things and be your own guinea pig.
Yeah.
So like if you have, let's just say a soda, I think that's a common thing. If you have a soda every day with lunch, what happens if the next day you have half a soda? You don't drink the whole thing. No, is there any difference? And then what if you try cutting out that soda? And then what if you replace that soda with water? How's that going to feel? And just kind of play around with these different parameters.